Welcome back on dinosaur. Today I want to propose you a video about
in here the unboxing of the dinosaur set to create a particular combination, because I want to use some of these dinosaurs to prepare some conversion for the Seraphon and for some peculiar model about the Seraphon themselves. So it will be really quite intriguing to see. So let's open this, make some comparison with the Seraphon models and have fun. In here there are the pieces that are inside, so they are really not bad, okay, they are really toys, but remember that I modify and change them quite a lot. There are also two little pieces of terrain that could be quite useful. So these are something that now we can make comparison with the Seraphon original ones and see if they are in some way compatible or not. So we can compare from the Stegodon these models, so we can take the Triceratops and we can see that the length is almost the same. As you can see, there is some difference in the height of the back here, but it's not so dramatic. It's much more similar than you think, and even if you rotate, as you can see, it's also the color not so different in size. Eventually you have to refine everything and so on, but it's not a problem. We can also put this Ankylosaurus here, and we can see that okay, this is much smaller, but the length is almost the same, and I think that it's not so problematic, because once that you put something on the back, anyway, it arrives quite similar one. We can also take a Stegosaurus. Here it's even much better, because as you can see it's bigger in some way and it's a way higher. Obviously you have to pay attention about these scales here eventually, because this could be problematic. And eventually another mod that I could use is this one, that it's bigger, as you can see, but I think that it could be a good way to create a sort of alternative way for my idea about. So eventually I have some things that could be used, so it's not bad at all. I go then to compare with the Bastylodon. Here we have the Triceratops, that as you can see it's almost the same at the end, it's not so different, okay, with the Ankylosaur that should be its own. And here we can see that the length it's less massive, literally. It has a big less mass, but with some conversion maybe here we can obtain, because this it's quite similar. It's this part that it's a bit bigger here. If we take the Stegodon, obviously it's almost the same, so it could be an alternative eventually. I think that this could be really quite intriguing. Obviously we have the other models, and we can make these that we can make the same things that we said about the Triceratops previously, so it could be useful, but you have to change a bit about. Obviously it's not so armored. Anyway, this should be used the Ankylosaurus eventually to pay a bit of attention, but anyway you can play a bit, because anyway you can reinforce up here with some armor and so on, so that you can make a sort of external armor up here, so to make similar to the Bastylodon itself, because this is armored literally. So it could be really quite intriguing as options. Then we can take the Carnosaurus to compare, and we can take the T-Rex, that is the most similar. About length we are really quite similar. What is changing is about the arms, that as you can see about the Carnosaurus are much more massive, and about the upper part. So the Carnosaurus it's bulkier than this one. Anyway, it's an option, and eventually you can reinforce this with some armor on, creating sort of dino radar. So it's an option eventually. We can also use others. So we have this that it's always available, but it's much smaller in this case. Eventually we have the Brontosaurus, but it changed completely the meaning, even if it's quite worth, I think, some trying. Then we have, for example, the Pachycephalosaurus here. Sincerely, I renounce about this, because about the Spinosaurus I think that it's not even comparable in any things. It needs something bigger, maybe some other models from other series. So as you can see, Carnotaurus again similar, but it's much better the Tyrannosaurus eventually. So we have options to use and so on here we have something that should be a sort of, I think, it's quite similar in some way. The real problem is the upper part, as you can see, but at least the arm are really quite interesting about, so it can be eventually used as a base to modify something, maybe some green stuff. It could be quite useful. So there are a lot of options that you can play with, and it's amazing about. So eventually you can try something, but these ones eventually you can use for other things. It's not that you have to have these for sure for such things. You can modify and so on, or use for secondary project, even not related about Warhammer, because anyway it has potential. And about the two plants, sincerely, I don't think that are so bad, because they are really a medium jungle that could be useful eventually as a referral. So it's nice. Anyway, there are something that you can use on some bases or so on, eventually repainting them or so on. And they're really quite intriguing anyway, so to keep and try.
So,
From dynonmod it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So, I hope to see you again to the next time.